Selas, and welcome back to my channel. And so excited, so grateful, so grateful. So before I get started on this video and tell you guys all the fun details that you want to know, I just want to thank BetterHelp for being a paid partner on this video. When I fell pregnant for the first time, I did some therapy sessions because I wanted to fix some of my thinking and not pass that down to the next generation. Maybe you're a first-time mom, or you're expecting another baby, or you're starting university for the first time, or you're dealing with grief. Whatever it is, BetterHelp connects you with a credentialed therapist who is trained to listen and give you unbiased, helpful advice. Visit betterhelp.com/Selina Naidoo to find a professional to help you with your situation. My favorite thing about the app is that you can specify the type of therapist that you want. My therapist is an Indian woman, and I was even able to specify the religious beliefs that I wanted the therapist to have. For me, that just helps me relate to a person better. And because you know me and you know that I don't like talking on the phone, all my therapy sessions are done via the text function on the app. You usually match with a therapist within 48 hours so that you can get started quicker. Let BetterHelp connect you to a therapist who can help you from the comfort of your own home. Start fresh any day of the year with BetterHelp. Click the link in the description or visit betterhelp.com/Selina to enjoy 10% off your first month of therapy. Now that the cat's out of the bag and you guys know that I'm pregnant, I posted a question sticker on Instagram yesterday and I was only able to answer a few of the questions, so I'm going to answer more of them now on the vlog. When did you decide on having baby number 2? Trevino and I always discussed from very young age that we want our kids to be 2 years apart. That's the age gap we wanted. So now is the time. Talia turns 2 this year and this baby is going to be born this year, so they will be 2 years apart. I said in the podcast, if you haven't watched it, it is live now. I said in the podcast episode that when people see Talia now and see me pregnant, they're like, that's so quick. But when you see adult siblings that are 2 years apart, you don't comprehend that this is what the mom went through. Also, there's a lot of people that are telling me I'm very brave for doing 2 under 2. However, somebody on a phone call yesterday told me they're only 2 under 2 for a very short period of time. You only go through that hectic newborn and active toddler season for a very short period of time, and then they are friends for life. And the lady was telling me that I think she has a son and a daughter, and the son was saying the daughter's name, I don't know what the daughter's name is. He was saying that she's not a baby anymore, she's my friend now. And I was like, that is so sweet, and I'm very excited. Trevino is excited. Talia kisses my belly button every morning because she believes that that's where the baby is. So, and if she can't see the belly button, she can't see the baby. She says, more baby, open baby. How is pregnancy with a toddler? I'm pregnant with a toddler, and wow. So I feel like I'm going to be referring to the podcast the whole time, but also go watch the podcast or listen to it. And if you guys are listening to it, please don't forget to rate it on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So being pregnant with a toddler, this is just my raw, unfiltered feelings, you know, on the vlog, especially in these talkative videos. I just blab. It has been very different in the sense of I don't have much time. So for example, this is my pregnancy journal that I made for Talia when I was pregnant, and one day when she's older she'll get this. And this is the one that I started with this baby. But this baby, I feel like I only update it every week, and it's a bit sad because I just don't have that time, that alone time anymore. Whereas when I was pregnant with Talia, it was just me, so I had all the time in the world to do everything I wanted. So one of the differences is that I don't have time. Another thing is that I feel like it does feel kind of lonely because no one faffs about the belly like they used to in the first pregnancy, because they have an actual child here to faff around with. And is that English? And it just feels a little bit strange because you would expect things to be the same, but it's not. And I think that's also one of the things that I am working through to also understand, is that it's going to be different. There's a lot of things that I want to do the same, and by the grace of God I have been able to do somewhat the same, but there's also a lot of things that are going to be different because they are different people. And I think the easier or the sooner that I understand that, the easier it will be for them also to not feel pressure to be like each other, because they are different people and God made us all individuals. Was it planned? I don't like it when people ask that. Like, I don't know, it just feels weird. How did you get the idea for the pregnancy announcement? So for the people that are new here, we got married at a golf course, and when I walked down the aisle, I walked down to Israel Houghton's song Hosanna. And when we did our first pregnancy announcement, when I was pregnant with Talia, we went back to that venue and we shot a transition from the wedding video to me being pregnant with Talia, and we used the same song in the background. And then now we went back there and the transition was from the wedding to pregnant with Talia to pregnant with baby number 2 and Talia being there with us, all using that same song. So to me that's very special, and it's just something sentimental that I like to have. Any tips on falling pregnant? So I did briefly discuss this in the podcast, but briefly I can go into a little bit more detail here. We were trying for a very short period of time. I fell pregnant on the 3rd month of trying, and in that whole time I was just thinking how emotionally and physically draining it is for women who have fertility issues and who want to fall pregnant but are struggling, and month after month trying and just doing everything and not working out. I can imagine how mentally draining it is, and I'm honestly so grateful that there are resources like BetterHelp out there to help women work through these, and husbands probably also, to work through these emotions. So what happened was I use the period calendar, this pink one, to track my period. Excuse me. And it also shows you your ovulation day. Now I think that there are more accurate ways to tell when you're ovulating. I think you can get like ovulation test where you again pee on a stick and it tells you if you're ovulating or not or something. I don't know how it works, but anyway, the app says that's a high chance of falling pregnant. So in my mind, have sex that day. But then I found Better with Balance, Michaela, on Instagram. She also went through a journey. Mine was not a journey, okay? I'm not going to take away from the women who actually struggle with this and go through so much. She said that, and my chiropractor told me the same thing, her gynae advised her to have sex, I think she said every single day. I think hers was, I don't know if I can find that post again, but she said something along the lines of, and please don't, I don't know, well, I don't know if this is bad information to give. The husbands are like, yeah. This lady, Better with Balance, Michaela, this girl, she said something along the lines of that they were advised to have sex every 36 hours from the day her period ended until her ovulation day. So that was the advice that she was given. Okay, wait, there we go, a pregnancy announcement. Let me see if I can find that thing. Throughout this fertility process, we have tried a bunch of different things. While I also can't guarantee that these things will work for you, I just want to share 2 other things that have made a difference for us. My battery is flashing. Through our successful conception this time around, we timed intercourse every 36 hours from the day my cycle ended. I also made sure to lie in bed for at least 15 minutes before getting up and doing anything. So when I saw that, I'm like, okay, maybe just doing it on the ovulation day, this is so awkward, isn't gonna help. But then also not understanding that this is such a weird video. I don't want to talk about this, that the sample of a man in Jane the Virgin terms can live for a couple of days. So okay, I have to keep stopping and starting again because I'm not letting my camera battery charge fully. Oh, now I lost all the questions again. So yeah, guys, I'm pregnant. A couple of people said they noticed because I was so out of breath in my vlogs and complaining about the heat. And guys, being pregnant in summer is it's something else. It's completely different to what I experienced with Tilia. My feet are always swollen. My ankles are now cankles. It's very hot. I'm hot all the time. And it's just not great. How did you announce your pregnancy to your husband? So like I said, it wasn't a surprise. It was a planned thing. It's something that we both wanted, and because it was taking long by my standard, we found out together, because every time that I would get my period, I'd be like, ugh. And then the 1 month, I think I was 1 or 2 days late on my period. And I was like, So I took the pregnancy test in our bathroom. Him and Talia were in the bedroom. And then, yeah. How does it feel to be expecting your second child? It's honestly such a blessing. And I'm very grateful that God has afforded me this opportunity to be this little baby's mom. And it's just amazing. I will say though that I have been praying for very specific things this time, like grace for being a mom of 2, more patience, more creativity on how to do things with the kids and things like that. Okay, yesterday, randomly, I got a very strong craving for this mealie bread that this auntie from my childhood used to make. It is a sweet bread, and she used to steam it in the millie's leaves. And I found the recipe on Babes Naidoo's Facebook group. Someone also made the same thing, and I just want that warm with butter. And then I posted it on Instagram before I found that recipe, and I asked if people know what I'm talking about, because when I first searched for the recipe, I didn't type in steamed. I just said millie bread, and it was like a hard loaf thing, and that's not what I wanted. I wanted that soft steam thing. So when I posted on Instagram, so many people sent me recipes, but it was a savory recipe, and for some reason I never considered the fact that it could be savory, because they had like jeera seeds and dhania and chilies in it. So I think potentially, maybe, I'm gonna make a savory version of it, and then I'm gonna have my sweet one, because that's what I've been craving. So Trevino found millies for me yesterday, and I know that the drama is gonna be grating the corn off the cob, which I'm not really looking forward to, but I'll do it anyway. I also baked a sourdough loaf yesterday, and everything that went wrong. I tried a different recipe that someone on Instagram sent me, where you don't put it in the fridge, because I think that was overproofing my sourdough, and that's why it was flat and not rising. And so basically I left it on the counter, but what I didn't account for was the fact that it was so hot in the kitchen. So the dough got stuck to the banneton, and then the lady told me not to use a banneton. She said just leave it in the bowl. And then I found a thing on Google where they said after they shape the dough, they just put it on the parchment paper and put it in a bowl and cover that so it proofs in there. So I finished baking my sourdough loaf at 11:15 last night. Yesterday I was making two breads at the same time, 2 loaves at the same time, because I didn't know which one was gonna flop. Because the day before yesterday I also tried the same method, and it got stuck, and then I got angry and I just crumpled the whole thing and I threw the dough away, which was silly on my part. Anyway, so all of that happened again. I had to reshape it, let it rest again, and then put it in the oven. And this is what it looked like. It actually looks a lot better. I think it's the best looking loaf that I've made. I didn't really get a nice photo of it, but I think it's the best loaf that I've made. The only problem is, and it's something that I knew in the back of my mind, but I just left it there. I'm like, it's fine. I didn't know that there's a difference between baking sheet and lunch wrap, and they both look the same in the cupboard. So I guess I took the lunch wrap and it got stuck to the bottom of the bread. So after the dough getting stuck to the cloth, me having to reshape it, letting it rest again for another hour and a half on the counter, baking it and finishing at 11:15 in my pregnant state, not being able to cut it open because I baked it for someone else and I didn't want to cut it open to see what it looks like inside, then having all the paper stuck at the bottom, and I had to sit there this morning with a little bowl of water, dip my finger in, rub it on the paper, and use a knife to scrape off what I could scrape off. When I sent it for them, I just told them I don't want any feedback. Like, don't tell me anything. The only thing I want to know is when you cut the dough, show me what it looks like inside. When you cut the loaf, show me what it looks like inside. Other than that, I don't want to hear anything about that loaf. It was so much drama. Like, look at this. Can you see that? I can probably just insert these photos, but this is just easier for someone who doesn't want to edit. Like, I was just so irritated. And yesterday I was even confident. I was filming a little TikTok of how I make sourdough. Anyway, that's that. The first loaf came out like a focaccia, so I have that in the microwave for me. But again, the bottom got stuck to the paper, so half the loaf is missing of the already small loaf that I got, which is annoying. And then on the weekend I also made like apple jam, but it didn't come out like the first time, so I'm just calling it like apple butter spread thing. Tastes really good. I put some of that on my focaccia yesterday. So good. I also made chili oil with my mother and sent that to some friends and family too, and I dipped a piece of the focaccia in that. So I enjoyed my little focaccia yesterday with my homemade things. I feel like this weekend I've just been cooking. I made bunny chows on Sunday. Yesterday I cooked a big meal. What is on the menu for this week? What's for tonight? So I don't know if I've said this, but it helps me to have a weekly menu for supper, because then I buy the veggies and fruit for the week. Ooh, according to that, I forgot. Oh, I don't want to make those today. I'm tired. I made bibimbap. I don't know if that's how I say it, but it's like a Korean bowl. I made that a while ago, and Trevino wants that again, but I don't know if I can do that right now. Like, I don't have that capacity. I kind of messed up the recipe because I was supposed to cream the butter and sugar together first, like when you normally bake sweet things, but I didn't. So I also just winged the whole recipe with flour. I must put some baking powder, flour, sugar, and I added about 2 cups of flour, about 1.5 cups of sugar. That's what the recipe said. Like this much of butter, because I want to make a savory one also. I must add some salt and baking powder, and I added vanilla. And this is the consistency. Say hi to the bomb. This is the consistency, and I'm gonna steam it either in this, or I also have an idli steamer. So also, this is my half focaccia from yesterday. I put some dhania, jeera and chilies in here, but I honestly don't think I have the patience to be doing this for all of it, because it is quite time consuming. This one, I don't know what happened. Like, yeah. The steamed ones actually came out pretty good. I also used some semolina flour in there because I ran out of regular flour. When I was younger, I remember an episode of My Wife and Kids where they had breakfast for dinner, and I always thought that was such a good idea, and for some reason in my whole adult life I forgot about that until I filmed the podcast, which is the next episode you guys will see, with Gilda, and she said that their easy weeknight go-to dinner is breakfast for dinner. And I'm like, how did that memory just escape my mind when it's something that when I was younger I was like, I can't wait to grow up and do this. So that's what we're doing today. I just made baked beans. When Talia goes to sleep, Trevino will fry us eggs, bacon and cheese grillers. I don't really like toast with my breakfast, but I'm very excited for breakfast. I completely forgot to press record. My camera was set up there and I didn't press record because I had to book the nanny and Uber to go to the taxi rank because she needs to get home in time to fetch her kid, and Trevino left work late. So I forgot to press record, but I was recording on my phone for TikTok and Reels. However, I'm going to show you guys everything that I did. This recipe is from, I'm making bibimbap, if I didn't say that, mykoreankitchen.com, and I don't have all the ingredients that, Talia, what are you doing on the floor? I don't have all the ingredients that they listed, but I just made do with what I have, and also some substitutions. Okay, let me show you what I have going on here. It's so hot in this kitchen. Okay, I have rice, regular basmati. We use tastic. This is Talia's mince curry. I'm going to put peas in here. And then in here I sauteed vegetables. I have dried shiitake mushrooms from Checkers. It comes in a bag like this. It comes in a bag that looks like this. Some carrots and spinach, and then I got these bush beans from my garden. They look and taste like green beans, but they're just flat, they're not round. Hello, it's hot here, Mama. Can you go do a puzzle? I'm coming with you just now. I sauteed all of this separately. I've seen on TikTok where they do it all together, but I don't think I can do that. I feel like I'll just mess it up. Even though everything ends up mixed up anyway, I feel like this is cute for presentation and for plating. So I just sauteed it with oil and salt and pepper for each thing. But actually this and this was water. That was a little, the carrot was a little bit of oil. The recipe says sesame oil, but I don't have that. And then for the mince, I didn't even put oil. What is that? It's the juice, I think. The juice, the sauce. So for this is what I did. It's not what's in the Korean kitchen recipe, but this is what I did. So I browned the mince, and then I added about a tablespoon of soy sauce, like a teaspoonish of this plum sauce, which the plum sauce and the gochujang I got from that Korean place, Kokoro. And then I added some of this, like half a tablespoon, and some chili flakes and half a tablespoon of sugar, and I mixed that up and it tastes delicious. Oh, and I put ginger and garlic, like the regular amount you'd put when you're cooking this amount of mince. Rice at the bottom, the veggies, mince, and then I warmed it in the microwave, and then I put fresh cukes on, and then this is Trevino's with his medium egg, the sauce on top, and a sprinkle sesame seeds. The last time I had green onions, but I don't have that now, so we're just making do with what we have.